All right, we are on, and want to welcome everybody to Northwest Exposure. Thank you guys for listening. We're here with Ray Hudson, the one and only Rockin' Ray, Idaho Spud. Hey, we caught him here. Oh, I better turn down all the volumes. We caught him here, and you know, he's out here visiting on the coast, and caught him out here and stopped by the studio. Yeah, right. And just had a delicious dinner from right from the coast.
It was.
Ray caught our dinner tonight. Ray and his son Logan caught our dinner tonight, which is pretty damn rad.
Yeah.
So we had some bass, some sea bass, some crab. My belly's nice and full. I feel good. Feel good and ready to go.
Mine's always that way.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just gonna get started here, and sorry, I instantly started getting people trying to figure out how to listen to the podcast. And I just want to let them know where to go. So if you want to listen, or you want to tell your friends to listen on live, or just hit the share button, and it'll start going everywhere and start floating around the web, the social media web, and you'll start listening to it and start hearing it. So want to let you, sorry guys, there we go, I just need to pull up Facebook. So want to say thanks again, Ray, for coming down. I hope you enjoyed your coast trip so far and ending it here in Southern Oregon.
Been an awesome trip. Happy to be here and appreciate the hospitality.
Of course, buddy. Of course. It's not every day you get to have Ray Hudson come to your house and hang out. So guys, probably one of the busiest guys in BMX, and I think we all know that. So it's pretty exciting having that sexy dude staying at my place tonight. So pretty stoked. And he brought me my favorite foods, which is fish and crabs. So I'm happy.
The worst part about that is you called this sexy. But
oh, we've been friends for so long, it's all sexy, right? So what have you been up to? How you been? Tell us a little bit about your coast trip that you've been on. And yeah, what's been going on in the life of Ray Hudson?
Yeah, so just decided to take a summer vacation with my boy Logan. He's just turned 10, so he got out of school I guess a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And yeah, went over to the Oregon coast, stopped by, saw my good friend Eric at Northwest BMX in Salem on the way through, and went to a museum, Air and Space Museum, to the coast, of course, and then slowly made our way down the coast, went out on a charter boat, got crab and some fish, which I brought over tonight.
Which I am loving right now.
And then, yeah, just made our way to the Redwoods this afternoon and found myself in Medford in your kitchen. So, yeah, so just a little summer vacation. We're on our final leg of it. That's the bad part about vacations. They all, unfortunately, have to come to an end.
I know, man.
But, yeah, we're on our way back home. So we'll head up through Crater Lake and back toward Bend, Redmond, and then east to Boise Sunday. And been an awesome trip. My son caught a really cool big fish, and the look on his face and everything that made it all worth it. And
yep.
Some of those memories you got to have, because as busy as I am, you know, you got to take time to, you know, family first, of course. And yep. I know you got a new addition to your family, so
yeah.
you know how family goes. So
yeah,
family first, of course, with me, and we got to spend some time. You know, even though I'm gonna go back to work on Monday, and it's gonna be crazy because everybody's
hunting you down, hunting you down.
Yeah,
like, literally like
texts and phone calls.
Hunting. I'm just gonna say it right now. If you're a dealer, when a dude's on vacation, leave the guy alone.
It's fine. Well, I was told when I first got that job by my mentor and my boss, Terry Baisley, that you're really never off the clock. So
never.
Most people have been very respectful, and it hasn't been any issues. But yeah, so we had a great trip. My kid got this big fish. We've been camping, and yeah, man, life right now is pretty good. So
awesome,
got you know, got a lot of good things going on. More than it's nice when there's more good than bad. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. So.
Awesome. So yeah, enjoying the Oregon coast and all that good stuff. It's pretty cool to see you kind of enjoy all the things that I've grown up loving, being an Oregon resident my whole life and everything. It's just, it's really rad to see you just be like, oh my gosh, we went to this light tower that was the oldest one and it's still in existence. And it's like, yeah, man, that's one of the things, like, a lot of people always like, why didn't you ever like move to California? Why didn't you ever leave? And I was like, dude, I love Oregon.
Yeah. Well, and the same for me. I've lived in Idaho my whole life, and I did move across the state when I got the job to work at Western Power Sports and Fly. Yeah. But it's the same, you know. For the most part, it's a little bigger town, Boise. Yeah. But I don't know what to look at. Whether they look at that or whether they look at I don't know what.
You can look at me. You can look over there. I probably wouldn't look right here.
What do I do with my hands? I'm having a Talladega Nights moment. What do I do with my hands?
As long as they don't start creeping up like this.
It's okay. I get up in the morning. I piss excellence.
Piss excellence. If you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you.
But yeah, I mean, we're having a good time, and again, I think living in Idaho, it's exciting to go places. Obviously, you know, Idaho is Idaho. Yeah. And,
there's a lot of dirt out there where they grow them potatoes.
Yeah, a lot of taters out there. But no, so my son even said today, why don't we live here? I'm like, well, you know, if you could live here, then it wouldn't be exciting. You know what I mean? So it's exciting to go see the ocean, and of course my son is just 10, so it's the first time he's been to the ocean where he remembers it. And man, it was just I had more fun this week with watching him and seeing how excited he was about everything, and then things. I was just excited to watch the sunset and kick back and listen to the ocean.
Or if you've never seen an Oregon coast sunset, I don't know, man. You need to get out here because it's one of the most beautiful things you'll ever see.
I'll tell you what. Every year I go to Black Mountain for the National. Man, some of those Arizona sunsets.
They're pretty good.
Tough to top in Arizona sunset, but yeah. So obviously, there's not an ocean below the sunset.
Every time I'm in Arizona, I'm wiping mud off my bike. So
I haven't raced in the last couple of years. When you live in Idaho and you go try to race in February, it's a little tough.
Oh yeah,
I haven't been on your bike in a few months.
I bet. Yeah, quite a few months really.
Unless you're Matt Baisley, it doesn't matter. He's just fast. So it's always fast.
So well then, so you're enjoying your nice trip on down to the Oregon coast and everything. So. Other than that, any you know, I'm just gonna put it out there right now. You know, this isn't Fly Racing's Ray Hudson. This is my longtime friend and you know, longtime competitor, longtime racer, Ray Hudson, on the show tonight. You know, he has a long. We were just counting the numbers of how long each of us have been racing, and it's a lot of years being a Northwest guy. And you know, even though it's Idaho, he was still in Oregon a lot. You know, on a very predominant, iconic Oregon team, you know, Northwest, born and bred, really. And I've always kind of considered Idaho definitely part of the Northwest. So, you know, we're going to have you on here and talking about the Northwest, the love you have for it and the love you have for racing. But so if we, you know, we're not doing the industry thing. Although I will say, I was thinking about it, and if anyone's listening, and you've been racing nationals for at least 2 years and at least like 4 nationals or more, I'm sure that parent or that parent's team manager has contacted this man to try and get free fly gear. I was thinking about it. I was just like, man, I can't. I mean, yeah, just every single person in our sport has probably one way or another. If they're at that national level,
a bit of an exaggeration, but
they've probably like through a TM or through a. You know, try to hit up Fly and Ray.
You get asked for it a lot and those sort of things. Most parents are just, you know, most team managers are just trying to, you know, get a deal or discount or something, you know, for their team. And I never faulted any of them for that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just when it gets a little bit to the point where the entitlement kicks in, where you know, because we are a team, what do we get? You know, and it's like, oh.
we paid a dude $100 to create a jersey, so therefore we are a team, and you now get a bunch.
So
of
it can get a little out of hand. Sometimes you get the folks that are just appreciative for a discount in some way through a retailer or however, and then you got the other people that, you know, unless you're, you know, a bit of a handout. So, but no, I mean, you know, and it's over the years, you know, I've been flying out for 16 years. I love my job. I go to work every day, and I enjoy going to my job. It is cubicle life. I sit in a 5x5 cubicle. It's
I know.
Not glamorous.
Dude, the first time I came to see your work, I was expecting like a real office, like something. And I was like, oh my God, at least you have a corner cubicle at the time.
Your studio is 8 of my.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, it is really
a cubicle. This is how most of the industry is. I think a lot of people don't really understand how it is, but you may have an office. Like, you know, I saw Bill Ryan's Supercross when ABA stopped by. He had an office, and Melissa had an office, and you know, some of these guys have an office. I work at a very big company where the bicycle department, that's the one thing that people don't realize about Fly Racing, Western Power Sports. Western Power Sports owns Fly Racing.
Yeah.
Western Power Sports is the second largest parts distribution company for motorcycles, ATVs,
Yeah.
snowmobiles, so in the world. And bicycle is this big in that company. So I work for a big company, but a very small part of it.
Yeah.
But because we sell a lot of fly and we push fly, and obviously a lot of people maybe they eventually leave BMX, maybe they go into motocross and other things. And obviously we're setting up kids for down the road to be a fan of fly.
I never thought about that.
So yeah, there's a lot to it, and we do a fair bit of business. So you go to the races, obviously.
Yeah,
fly is pretty predominant. But,
definitely.
But no, I like my job. I don't mind doing it. But it's I wear about 6 or 7 hats. I manage. Like you say, we're going to talk too much about the industry stuff, but just a real quick, what I do is I do in the BMX side of it. We have a mountain bike side now as well, but I do about 90% of the BMX sales. Mm-hmm. I do all the teams. I manage most of the pros type stuff. So I work with Connor Fields and Joris, and that's exciting. It's cool. Yeah. But this is their job. So obviously, there's a time of year where you contracts different things where it's like, I think one of the worst days of my life at Western Power Sports is I actually had to let at the time it was Christian Besserine know that we couldn't pay him the next year. Mm. I didn't really think about it until I was on the phone with him. I'm technically firing him in a way. And it was awful.
I bet. I bet. And Besserine is such a good
He's
guy.
one of the nicest guys in the industry.
Yeah.
He's one of the best racer guys. So I do teams. I do that. I work on a lot of ads and sponsorships. And of course, Matt Baisley's at the office now. He's helping a ton. Of course, he's good friends with Connor and George. These guys. He's the social media guy. I'm really not. I'm not on social media much. I don't really care for. I don't really have time for it. So a lot of the pros go to Matt for that now. But I deal with most of the teams, big and small. Everybody from the big guys like Full Tilt on down to say just your local bike shop team. So I deal with all that as well. Again, ads, marketing, different things. So in the course of a day, I could be doing this. So that's where it gets a little frustrating when you get some teams or shops or riders like you sometimes where Matt. Adam is the king of calling me the last minute, by the way.
No, I heard.
I'm leaving in 2 hours to head to Roseville. Any chance you get me? Well, as BMXers, I've found that we are
procrastinators.
We are a sport of procrastinators.
Oh yeah,
absolutely,
definitely.
And myself being included. So I like my job. I don't mind it. But I am a commission salesman too. So that's where sometimes the teams.
Yeah, you don't get cut.
I don't get paid to work with teams. Anything I sell to them or whatever. That's why I try to push a lot of the smaller ones through the shops because I get a commission selling to the retailers. Yeah. But with the teams I don't. So when a team manager is one of those guys that's just kind of needy, it's a little frustrating because I've got 3 dealers over here where I'm gonna make some commission, and then over here I'm doing this as because sponsorship is really marketing. You know what I mean? So it's I like my job. I've been there for 16 years now, unbelievably, and things have gone great.
Well, I wanted to hit on that a little bit too tonight. Was that I was thinking about it, and I was like trying to look back, and I've been in the industry and paying attention to the industry for like I don't know, everywhere from the bike shop industry all the way up, for the last 20 years, and I realized like you are the longest running like major employee of a company that is taking a company from a nothing. I mean, because Fly started out as nothing basically, and you came in, and you and Terry, of course, at the same time, created this huge thing within our sport. And I don't think people really realize it and aren't grateful enough about your commitment and Terry's commitment, as well as then you lasting in the sport for so long, in the industry of the sport, because everyone in the industry, especially in your position where you're basically a sales manager and you're helping create this product, but most parts of this industry in BMX, those jobs are gone like that. I mean, they're
it helps that I work for a big company too.
It does help that you have a pretty big umbrella.
I got very, very lucky with that. But you're right. There's a lot of guys that are in the sport and out of the sport, and I think one of the reasons that myself, Matt Baisley, again, I'll mention Bill Ryan's name. Yeah. Some of these guys are in it for so long. Bill's been doing BMX.
Now, I'm not talking about owners. I'm talking about like
he runs the business. Yeah. He's there doing it.
Exactly.
He's living it.
No, I know, but I'm saying like you as an employee of a business. Yeah. You're the only one that I can think of that's really lasted through the years at one particular place. Yeah. Which is really impressive when you really think about it, because our sport is so up and down, up and down, up and down. Sure. That you've created
You'll find there's a lot of people that are the same. Like Michelle Singer from. Of course, I first served with Michelle. She's at VSI, and then she told me to box. Now she's a dancer. So she's bounced around. Yeah. Derek Betchers worked for Haro and now at Sins and Avian and Speedco. So yeah, there's a lot of us of industry types or folks or whatever. You know, and yeah, you're right. Some of them have bounced around. I've been at one place, but I think that really comes down to the simple fact that you know, where I work is a big stable thing. Obviously, Michelle was with VSI, kind of went away. Toby went over here. You know, she got an opportunity to go work for John Sawyer and that. And then then there's a lot of guys that have been around. You know, obviously Greg Kruppe's ran there for a long time. Bill Supercross has been there for a long time. So, but yeah, as far as just an employee and not necessarily the owner of a company, 16 years seems that's awesome. That's the longest. You know, I mean, I worked at a retail bike shop prior to that for 9 years.
Oh wow,
16 years. So I've almost doubled.
You know, I always because I worked in a lot of bike shops too. I always said 6 years was the max you could last in a bike shop, because there's so many, because a bike shop is so loosey-goosey, and there's so many people like with their own ideas and everything, and everybody feels like a manager. And I always said the 6 years was like the max anyone could last in a bike shop.
I liked working at the retail bike shop, but part of working at a retail bike shop is that there's no responsibility. It's really chilled and laid back, and because of that, you know, the pay is usually mill. You know, and of course I worked at a bike shop in Idaho, so we're working for 6 months out of the year, and then the other 6 it's winter or something along those lines. So you know, I wasn't making as much money. So again, you know, I get asked all the time, well, how did you get the job at Fly? Well, I wasn't any more qualified than anybody else. I wasn't more talented or.
Well, you had been an answer.
No.
Hadn't you been an answer before that?
I rode for Answer. Co-sponsored.
Co-sponsored.
You know, the guy at the time was giving me product. I was the guy asking him in the races, hey, can I get a 4? Can I get a jersey? I was that guy that now I work with, but we're good with. But yeah, no, I worked at a bike shop, and we were Terry Baisley, who is the VP of Sales at Western Power Sports. He's the guy who started and thought of Fly. And Fly's having their 20th year. 2018 is their 20-year anniversary. So Fly was going on 4 years before I actually got there. But no, they ended up. It was kind of who you know. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people who get a good job. It has less to do with anything you've done or accomplished or whatever plaques hanging on your wall. It has more to do with, you know, who do you know? And so this was that scenario. I knew the guy, and I remember we were in Reno at a race, and I was, you know, almost 27 years old, going, I can't work at a bike shop the rest of my life, you know. And then I heard Terry mention that, you know, I knew they were kind of starting a thing. Our shop had started selling a little Fly. Jerry Vanderpool was the guy they hired originally, the hippie.
The hippie.
They had hired him, and he's about 10 years. 8, 9 years my senior, so he ended up they hired him to come in and start it, and if you know Jerry, he's just not a cubicle sit at a desk kind of guy. So he lasted about a year before he really missed going out and riding his bike a couple times. You know, because if you watch him now, he goes out and rides his bike and he's testing, you know, during the day. But so I was there for a little while with Jerry, and then Jerry left, and I ended up kind of inheriting everything, and took the proverbial bull by the horns and ran with it. You know, and of course, having been in the industry. So having raced as long as I had, I knew TJ and Richard Tangent. I knew a lot of the guys because the BMX family. I mean, it's a real sweet. We are a small knit deal. And of course, you talk about the BMX industry. It's even a smaller group of people. So another guy who's worked for a place all the time is TJ with Tangent.
That's true. Now that's good.
But TJ bounced around. You know, he was with Stats, of course. That's and of course I raced TJ long before that. One of the good guys, the guys at Tangent, Richard TJ. So so yeah, it is a scenario where. I got my job based on who I knew, not because I was any more qualified. Now, my longevity, I kind of, you know, I think I've been there a long time because, again, I like my job. I don't hate going to work. I do get to talk to my friends. I mean,
I know.
I basically call my friends all day and talk to them.
I get every once in a while, I get a phone call at like 7:30 in the morning. Hey, Adam, what you doing? Nothing, Ray. What are you doing? I'm just want to hang out, just want to chat.
Reading some emails. But the thing about Western Power Sports and Fly is it is a job. I mean, people think I'm there just this glamorous thing, hanging out, talking with the pros and stuff. There's actually a board on the wall at Western Power Sports that has how many calls you've made that day, how long you've been on the phone, another board of how your sales are compared to everybody else in the room, and you know they're expecting it is a job. They want sales, and of course, being commission, the more I sell, the more money I make. So, you know, when BMX is up and down, and I've been there for 16 years, there's been some good years, and there's been some down years. You know, and right now, kind of a little bit on the downside. So, it's you know,
I bet
it is something. But I do enjoy my job. I like being the guy from Fly, Matt Baisley and I. You know, and it's been good, man. I enjoy it. And of course, Terry Baisley's the guy who got me that job. And I remember they offered me the job on July. It was February 27th. They called me, 28th. They called me for the job. And by March 20th, I'd already moved and was there. I mean,
Really?
I packed up, left town, and moved across the state. Again, I moved about 4 hours away to go.
Yeah.
But it was an easy transition because I moved with BMX.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
If I moved to Boise and didn't know anybody, you know, like when you moved from Salem to Medford, you knew people through BMX. So BMX was the one thing. It's always been the one common thing in my life, honestly, that has really been just always there, that even a bad day, good day, bad times in your life, you know, I mean, maybe you don't know, but I went through a divorce last year.
Well, I did.
After 22 years, I went through a divorce last year. And, man, I'll tell you what, get on my bike and go out and ride my bike was the one thing that just, you know, was normal at that time. Because it's just, you know, BMX has always been there. You know, and almost all my friends and industry people and people are, you know, I'm here with you through BMX. I wouldn't know you otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know,
Thank you, Tom and Kathy.
BMX is not just something I do. It's really, you know, kind of part of who I am at this point. You know, we were talking before we got on here, but next week is my 28 years of racing. You're at 35. So between the two of us, that's a pretty good chunk of change. You started racing when you were 3.
I started racing when I was 3. Yeah. Well, here in Medford, the track was literally like 100 yards from where it is now, and I started racing in '83. And there was 1 year that I could technically say I didn't race because we didn't have a track when we moved up to Portland. But other than that, I've raced every year ever since then.
So I got a funny little story. So before I didn't start racing BMX until I was 15.
Yeah, which is pretty late. 1990.
Honestly. Yeah. So there was nobody my age. So I immediately had to race experts and those sort of things. And back then it was 3 wins to go intermediate, 10 wins to go expert, and we had 3 tracks over there. So it was rough. I don't think I made a main at a national for 2 years after when I got going and those sort of things. So that's kind of the traditional thing with experts today. They do really well as an intermediate, and of course they go expert. And then it's like they either fight through it and get there, or you see them leave the sport, which is why ABA has now made it 25 wins.
Yeah, I think so.
Trying to keep the kids. I
don't. You know, and honestly, the weird thing is like, I don't know. They went to 25 wins, I think like you said, but like there's still kids at my local track that turn expert still 6 to 8 to 12 months too soon. They're still turning expert too soon, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know if the number helps. I don't know. I almost wonder if
I think it's just the part of any sport. You get good, you know, and then you make it to your minor league baseball team, and you make the starting lineup, or you don't. Yeah. You make the major league baseball team, or you don't. I remember playing football.
You're good at this, or you're not.
You're good or you're not. Yeah. But funny thing. Up till I was 15, I wanted to be a freestyle guy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I had a GT Reformer. I was out. My friend and I would go out. We build ramps. I wanted to be Eddie Fiola. We're watching Rad all the time.
Wait. Do you know who Josh White is then?
I do know who Josh White is.
So Josh White is from Ashland, and he used to babysit me when I was a little tiny kid.
He was on GT too.
And he was on GT, but he got a start on all the guys' ramps, my brothers included. They all had ramps in their front yards. Wow. And they all got started on each other's ramps in their front yards right down here in Medford, Oregon.
We'd be surfing we'd jump on our frames and surfing down the road. We'd be doing all these things. And then my buddy wanted to be Martin Aparajo, the other guy, Aparajo, the other guy. We'd watch, you know, of course, this is back before we had social media. We didn't have immediate feeds of video and
pulled out some
VHS tapes. Yeah, but we would be those things. And years and years later, I'm in San Diego, and I'm sitting at this table, and it's a Hall of Fame thing in Chula Vista. Yeah. Well, they're inducting Eddie Fiola. I didn't realize I was sitting next to his mom.
Oh, crazy.
So he comes out, does this. He was the first guy they inducted. I think first or second guy they inducted. Well, Control sits down, he's sitting next to me. So I'm sitting next to Eddie Fiola and his mom. And it got kind of emotional because, you know, obviously he was talking about all the injuries and stuff over the years, and his mom always stuck by him. Yeah. It was just awesome to, you know, that's the one thing about being, there are definitely some perks of being in the industry, if you will. You get to meet a lot of these guys, you know. But at the same time, you know, I remember getting in the industry, starting to meet some of the, I say getting in the industry, but I mean, because you go to BMX is small. This isn't like major league sports where you never get to meet Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or these guys. I mean, our pros, our top guys are sitting in the pits, and you can walk up to them at any point.
Good story.
Or go to the bathroom and they're in the bathroom. You know,
I know.
Our sport's one of the only ones like that. I think that's one of the good things about our sport.
Yep.
And, you know, maybe not as much as well. But
yeah. Well, I was going to say Tynan, 80, who in Phoenix. Yeah, he it's so funny. So Tynan's like a huge fan of Connor Field. Yep. Like just obsesses over.
And he's from my home track in Boise.
Yeah. And so we're all sitting in the fly pit in Phoenix, and I'm sitting next to Connor, and Gray's on the other side of Connor, and Tynan is just like deer in the headlights, this blank ghost face, like where am I supposed to sit? I don't know. And it was the funniest thing, and it's just like,
that was a good impression.
It wasn't it?
That was pretty good.
I know my Tynan really well, and it was so eye-opening because, yeah, you know, us, especially like in the years past, we grew up in the sport and all the AA's were at every national. So we did see them at every single national. And now there is a little bit of starstruckness, which I think is good.
It's awesome.
Which is good.
It's still good to know that that's out there.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of the one thing in the industry. I think it was one of the questions I saw from one of your guys on Facebook. Was, you know, being in the industry, how does that affect my racing and everything? Well, you know, I go to the races now, and it's a bit like a job. You know, I mean, whether we're setting up a display or working. Do I still enjoy racing? Absolutely. But you know, the whole thing of going to a national and you're going there and you're good to see the pros. Well, you know, that's gone. You know,
that's gone. Yeah.
Those days have passed. But I still remember my first national and getting to see Gary Ellis and Pete Lonkarovich and Daryl Young, obviously, and these guys. You know, and I remember the first time I turned pro. I never snuck into pro practice. I was one of the guys that never snuck into pro practice. My very first pro race was actually in Olympia, Washington, '98. I remember. Unfortunately, also the last race for Hudson. And I did my first pro gate between Christophe Levesque and Gary Ellis. And man, I'm in the gate going like,
you're like, Mom, look at me, Mom, look at me.
Like, trust me, I don't think I'd be as good at my job. I don't think I'd still be racing if I wasn't in love with the sport, a fan of it, and still enjoying it. But yeah, so it's awesome to see someone like Tyne and these kids. I mean, we're sitting there in Arizona this year, and you know, I see it all the time. But there's literally a line of people wanting to talk to Trent Jones, Brooke Crane, who writes for Fly Now, and Connor. We're sitting in our tents, and it was awesome. You know, just watching Connor sign a kid's forehead and different things. So it's good to see that there's still that in our sport. You know, I think it'd be a way. If there's a way to put them on a bigger pedestal, would be awesome. You know, some night show type stuff or things, but.
But no, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun.
Especially someone with Tynan's age, you know, to still be excited about
16 years old and still be like, what?
Well, that's like I said, I was 15, and I remember the first time I walked up to Gary Ellis and Todd Lyons. There's a picture I posted years ago of me and Todd Lyons, you know, at a race, and I got this smile on my face, you know, like Todd Lyons, you know what I mean, and see, you know, hey, I was excited. And of course, I was 15, 16 at the time too, you know. So, but yeah, BMX has been good to me, and you know, I hope I've been good to it and continue to do so.
Well, I know you have. I mean, it's crazy when you think about too, like if Fly hadn't started the company and Terry hadn't been, if Matt and Sean hadn't been racing at the time when he started it, like, you know, no other brands have really wanted to / tried to step up like Fly did throughout all the years. I mean, you know, here and there, like, but
wanted to,
yeah, but never could do it. Never, you know, maybe logistics and whatnot, but.
It's difficult. There's not a ton of money in the sport. It is a smaller sport. You know what I mean? Certainly, when you look at the numbers of what BMX does versus say with baseball and soccer and do. But I mean, Jason Michelson, another famous Idaho racer that came out of Idaho that has done very well for himself, racing wise anyway. You know, his daughter's in the cheerleading now, and he's telling me what he just spent on a cheerleading. He went to the finals for cheerleading.
Really?
What they spent on cheerleading for this year, and it makes BMX look. So, I mean, you know, trust me, no matter what you do, there's going to be the local level you can take it as far as you want, of course. You know?
Exactly. Well, I didn't have a script for tonight. I kind of didn't want to because, you know, Ray and I have been friends for so long. I feel like it'd just be really easy just to start throwing stuff back and forth at each other. And
I talk well.
And, but I will say, you know, I'll kind of go back and reminisce a little bit on, you know, and like I said, I said thanks to Tom and Kathy because they ran Hotline Northwest, and we've kind of hit on that in a couple shows in the past, but Ray rode for Hotline, and my very first grands that I went to, I hear my son in the background, my very first grands that I go to in 97, you know, I bend my fork, and there's this guy over there, he's wrenching on all the bikes, and I don't notice that my fork's bent until I'm like getting ready to go, you know, race, and I'm like, oh my God, my fork's bent from a crash in the previous round. And I was like, oh crap, what am I going to do? Like, I start frantically just like losing my mind because I'm 17 years old, first grands ever. I had my semi coming up and for my cruiser race. And I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? What the hell? And I had no idea my fork was bent. And Ray just like, hey, your fork's bent? Yeah, just use my bike. I don't have to race again until such and such. And I think it might have been quarters because you said you might not have had semis, but anyway, you're like, yeah, just go race.
Well, if I didn't have semis at the Grands, that means I didn't make it.
You think you did. That was a good year for you. And you're like, yeah, go ahead and race my bike. It's fine. And I'm like, yeah, but I run clips. And he's like, oh, One of those guys.
One of those guys.
He's like, well, I guess you can't run it then. I was like, well, can I change the pedals? And so I swapped the pedals, raced Schwinn. Never ridden it before in my life. Made it out, qualified. They did. I got one later on because of it. And and ever since then we've been great friends. And I don't think I would say there's literally not a month that goes by that we don't talk to each other. I mean, there might have been weeks that go by, but I wouldn't say a month goes by that we don't talk to each other. So, you know, it's been pretty rad to just from that one encounter. And that just goes to show too, like Ray's like great kindness with inside of himself, just to be like, hey, there's this kid sitting in the hotline pit area freaking out because he has no bike to race. And then, of course, you put the fork on me, on my bike, on me. That's not good. You put the fork on my bike for free. And
there's been a lot of times over the years where, you know, you see that from everybody, man.
Yeah.
And again, I go back to the BMX family thing. I mean, you know, it's one of those deals where I don't recall that at all.
I
don't.
I bet. For me, though,
I remember meeting you at the Grands, but I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hotline Northwest was the first, we'll say, big team.
Yeah.
I rode for. I remember asking Tom and Kathy for years to get on the team, but their son was my age, and Nick Tuttle, and Chris Marsh. Aaron Tuttle. Nick Tuttle's the Aaron Tuttle and Chris Marsh were my age. I raced them; they were both on the team. So it wasn't until they left that I finally got a spot. You know, so I rode for them for a couple of years, and those were my best years as an amateur. Yeah. And again, they stopped they discontinued their business the first weekend I turned pro. So Tom and Kathy, I met them. I saw them again this year at the Redmond race, and got to see them. And we both wore our old jerseys for fun. And
I know it was funny because I didn't leave until Saturday morning to come to the race because I had to work and stuff. And I saw you. Gort posted that photo of you in your Hotline jersey, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna pull up my RNC jersey. Never had a Hotline jersey, Tom and Kathy. I'm a little sad by that still. No, just kidding. But, you know, I had to pull my old RNC jersey out from that same era.
I think I've gotten a little bit older now, in my mid-40s.
And your jersey still fit, too.
It was big. Like, I couldn't believe how big it was. Jerseys fit way better nowadays.
I know, they really do.
But, yeah, no, you get a little nostalgic, you know. I think as we've gotten older and talking with on the phone, I do talk to some guys that have been racing for a long time. It's just fun telling stories and reminiscing about, you know, times of the Grands and different things, you know.
Yep.
You know, again, BMX has been good to me, man. No complaints. So hopefully, just my passion for the sport and my niceties to help people when they need things. And I mean, to this day, I'll jump up to help someone change a flat, you know, whatever we got to do to get them on the track and having fun. And I mean, BMX is fun. We got into it for fun, and so I'm still happy to say that after almost 20 years of racing, that I still enjoy racing. I still enjoy the racing as much as I enjoy the industry side. The industry side is my job and puts food on my table, which is great. So you know, one of the more overused phrases these days is #blessed. I'm that guy. I'm blessed, if you will.
That's funny. That's funny.
Last year it was blessed and literally used quite often. Yeah. Way too much.
Literally.
Quite literally.
And what about basically?
Now it's basically with my son, you know. So, and then another word I hear way too much is epic. Epic.
And you know, you don't hear that too much in Oregon.
Well, but we've got a mountain bike department at Western Powersports now, and of course, every ride a mountain bike goes on is these guys go on are epic.
Dude, did you feel the flow of that trail, bro? It was epic. Yeah, I know. I spent a good 4 years at a bike shop that was strictly like serious mountain biking, and I swear I like my speech lost intelligence by working there. I love those guys, Sandy M. But well, so let's go back. Well, you know, we kind of went back a little bit, but let's go back. You said how you started. You kind of hit on that a little bit, and let's kind of go from there and kind of take on from there. Yeah. So again, my friend and I wanted to be GT factory freestyle guys. You know, we're watching Rad, and back then you didn't have videos, and there wasn't these rider-owned companies putting out all their videos. And of course, we certainly didn't have social media back in 1990. So I found out through a local bike shop that I'd gone to all the time that they actually had a BMX track. So June 20th of 1990, taught my mom into, hey, Mom, I'm gonna race my bike. You know, and I was already doing baseball and football and bowling. I was a bowler. Were you?
I was a bowler.
I've never gone bowling.
And then got to the track. I got to the track and I was hooked. I mean, I rode my first race was on a pieced together hunk of something. I think it was a mongoose. I don't know. But we ended up getting there and raced. And I was absolutely hooked. And of course, at 15 in Idaho, there was nobody for me to race in the way of a novice class. So I ended up racing experts right off the bat. And this is back before they had the moto system. I mean, everything was done by hand.
I know.
They literally wrote all the motos.
I know. My mom was
fill out a sheet. Yeah, they hung all the clips.
Oh, I know, dude. When I tell people about that, like, 'cause my mom wrote
all
motos,
handwritten. Yeah,
in like
unreal.
It's crazy.
Unreal.
I can't imagine a national with 400, 500 motos.
So I grew up in Idaho Falls, Idaho, which is on the eastern side of the state, about 2 hours north of Salt Lake City, say an hour from Wyoming. And Snake River BMX, my home track, man. Shout out to everybody at Snake River BMX if you're listening. And they still got a picture of me hanging on the wall there at the track, and a newspaper clipping and different things. There's a bunch of trees down the first straightaway that I was there to help plant. And,
Whoa!
And I mean, I can't tell you how many hours I spent at that track, riding, working on that track. I mean, I raced there for 17 years or something. So, and just of course, first race didn't make the main, and the next race I made my main, and then of course you racing experts. And again, we had at that point it was 3 wins to go intermediate, and 10 wins to go. So I went expert my first year, and of course just you struggle, but you either fight through it or you play a single ball sport. So I ended up sticking with it, and again, my first big race that I ever went to was in Boise, and then of course down in Utah. So my 2 backyards at the time were Boise and Salt Lake City. So now I moved across the state, and of course I love Boise, but it's in the middle of nowhere, man. I know. It's 4 hours back to my home track. It's 5.5 down to Utah. It's 7 or 8 to Portland. So Boise's great, but it is in the middle of nowhere. We're lucky to have 3 tracks though, so I get a race. But yeah, so 1990, and then raced up till I moved in 2002 to when I moved to the job at Fly. Yep. So for all those years I raced there. Of course, in '98 I turned pro, and we didn't have any pros there. So I'd go out and practice, and then I would announce. Nice. And
I didn't know you were announcing all the way back then.
I announced. I started announcing and enjoyed it. And of course, I knew the kids from the bike shop. Small town. Yeah. So the kids from the bike shop came out to work on their bikes, and I knew everybody. I mean, I could announce the races without moto sheets.
Oh, nice.
And I'd announce and everything. And then eventually the opportunity came to move. Again, knowing Terry Baisley and all through the years, and that opportunity came, and I jumped on it. And all those years at Snake River BMX, and of course now I call Eagle Park BMX home, and of course I still race in Caldwell, and I haven't missed a local this year, other than the one I missed coming here. So the one tomorrow. So I'll actually go out and ride your home track.
I know, that's gonna be fun to get.
We brought our bikes. We're gonna go out and race Rogue Valley tomorrow.
Yep, which will be fun. It'll be cool to have you out there and whatnot. But
it's still fun to go see you and ride different tracks. I mean, that's my one thing is through all the years, you just start racing nationals, and it's always Utah, it's always Phoenix, it's always the same track. So my goal this year and next is to go places I've never been. Nice. Like I just went to Richland, Washington a couple weeks ago for the first time. They had nationals and all that sort of stuff there, but every of the nationals there, we were at Interbike, which is an industry show that we go to. So I finally got to go there. Amazing facility. Sean and those people, amazing. And had a good time racing over there. It's kind of the first time I went to a race that wasn't a national, just kind of 2 double pointers. But it's fun. I got to race people I'd never raced. I got to go on a track I'd never been on. And that was a blast. Kind of a little solo trip over myself. And I still want to get. There's still some bucket list races. I want to go to Nashville, South Park, or some races. I still like to get to some of the older.
I know South Park's still.
It's just hard to get back east at times. But so this trip here was the first trip I've taken in a while that was honestly a non-BMX trip. Yeah, we brought our bikes. We're gonna go ride tomorrow, but maybe we're on the coast and doing all that, and the bikes have been back in truck, so it's been nice in that way. Because most of my trips revolve around what track we're going to, what motel, where we're staying. I know, right? And we got to be at the track at what time to get set up. Make sure we call Shannon Gillette at AVA and get our pit space and different things. And again, going to the nationals now, it is work. I mean, we go there and we are working, and yet we still are fortunate to be able to go and take the time to go race and ride and those sort of things. But the Grands for me, I don't know that I'll probably ever race another Grands. The Grands has gotten to the point where it's such a huge event for Fly now. We put so much into it. If you've ever been to the Grands, we have an 80-foot pits, 30 by 80 foot pit space, and it's just really just 2 of us working the booth. So it's something where the Grands would be hard pressed to ever race again. But and nag plates and those sort of things. I mean, I guess at this point, I've got. I mean, I'm not getting any faster, right? So I'm just enjoying racing and being competitive, trying to be competitive. I'm not necessarily worried about nag plates and state titles and those sort of things anymore. I just want to race and ride and have a good time. But you want to be competitive. Lately I have not been making my mains at nationals, which is frustrating. When at one point you were nag 2, and then now you're 5th in the semi guy. So, but
well, like you said, it's only this way.
Yeah, nowhere to go but up. But yeah, I got a local guy that I've been racing with, and we're pushing each other, and he's been beating me, and the last couple races I beat him, and it's been fun.
Yeah.
A couple of younger kids that I'm chasing, and of course Matt Baisley.
Yeah.
We actually have Jeff Upshaw living in Boise now, which is pretty cool. So having him there is, you know, he's teaching a bunch of the kids, and it's a lot of good things he's doing. And so yeah, so I mean, started in 1990, and here we are, 2018. And
I know,
still
going strong. It's just like this.
In some ways, yeah. What? And of course, I'm real lucky. I had you know, as did you. We had, you know, a mom drug my ass all over the country. Yep. You know, she
still does.
I look back.
Still does. Like, I mean, Reno, Moto 45, taking 3.
Yeah. No more. I mean, I was really disappointed this year that they got rid of Reno.
I know.
It was a traditional race for us. We were adding it up, Mom and I, the last time we drove there, I guess last fall.
Yeah.
That it was probably our 44th or 45th time racing in Reno. My first national event was Reno in '91.
Wow.
And of course, they went to 2 a year, and we didn't miss any.
Yeah.
So we were trying to add it up, and I was trying to ask Shannon Gillette and Bill Morris how many nationals they'd had there. But I mean, I'd probably be.
Well, at some points there was 3, because they had, you know, Silver Dollar, Blackjack, and Gold Cup. So there were some years that I went there 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Reno's traditional, but at the same time, like I just said, it's kind of nice to go someplace different and do something different. Of course, that track was always different, but like go race different places and race different people still, which at our age is difficult because we pretty much know everybody and everything. But still, I don't go to Utah as often as I do, but I went down there November, raced one of their indoors, you know, and I got to see my buddy Brent Barton. Good dude. I didn't get a race with him, but Brent and the guys down there, Jason Melton, and I got so many good friends. Like, I can still roll down into Utah at any given point because, man, through the late '90s up till I turned pro, and even turning pro, we go down to Utah all the time to race. It's only about 2.5 hours from Idaho Falls where I grew up. So I raced with Chris Park, Jonas Harmon. Yeah. You know, we go there and have a great time. So I'm still good friends with them. And then of course, growing up, come back to amateur, racing with Brent Barton. Of course, I raced one of my biggest competitors over the years. Steve Spencer and I go way back.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say Pee Wee.
Oh,
that guy too.
That guy too. If I think everybody has that guy, and Pee Wee's my guy. If I've lost anybody more than anybody in the world, it's Brent Lee. Brent Lee, the Pee Wee Lee has. I can't say that I've ever beat him straight up.
Really?
I've beat him in races where maybe I got second, he got 7th. But in a race where it was just he and I or whatever. So my very first race going to Boise, of course, Brent was traveling everywhere as well. We'd always end up in races in the Northwest, right? Everywhere I went, you know. So and now again, and I could never beat him. He'd always pass me. He'd always pull me. Even I got ahead of him. It was just, you know, there's 2 guys you don't want behind you when you're racing. Yeah. Brent Lee and Robbie Patterson.
Yeah.
Just 2 guys you don't want behind you because it's inevitable. They're going to get you.
Yep.
But yeah, so I raced Brent for all those years, and even up to when he turned pro and I was pro, and racing each other.
Yeah, because you guys raced pro about the same time.
At the same time, and then he left for a little while, and I continued on, but did the vet pro thing for a bit. And but yeah, so it's cool having Brent back because I think what Brent brings to our sport is something that it's kind of lacking.
I do too.
You know, clips were great. You know, I was one of the last guys. I feel like I was one of the last pros to clip in. In fact, one of the pictures you posted today was a picture of me racing A Pro in Salt Lake City. I'm on a steel frame with pitchforks, flat pedals, jeans, and I've got Joey Licata and Mike Rebello behind me, clipped in, aluminum bikes.
I noticed that.
I was one of the late guys. I was still out riding trails and dirt jumping and trying to be that freestyle guy. So I wanted one bike.
I will say, you were the knack king.
Oh
my God, dude!
I could throw a knack.
I was like, you don't post a lot on social media. But if there's 6 photos of you doing knack-knacks alone,
you got a few of the good ones on there.
I was like, damn, he must have done a lot of knack-knacks through his days.
Well, the funny story about knack-knacks is I started a kid at my local track, Damon Johnson or something, Damon something, local track. First I saw knack-knacks, I was like, that was cool. So I started doing them, and then X-ups and these things. I got to a point where we would go out and ride trails, and I could do a few tricks, you know. But knack-knacks were one thing back when we weren't clipped in. Yeah. You could do a knack-knack mid-race or something. And I, of course, enjoyed being the center of attention, you know. I mean, I was out there having fun, doing tricks and different things, and I enjoyed it, and it was always fun kind of putting on a show. Yeah. And then I remember I was in Arizona, probably 96, 97. Got my very first picture in Pull magazine, BMX or Pull, doing a big old knack, and man, Mike Hanner and Sean Butler just started razzing me and making fun of me so bad because I ended up I did a knack, and I didn't get the memo. in Idaho. They weren't cool anymore.
German McGrath did so many knack-knacks.
Yeah,
you ruined knack-knacks.
You can't do knack-knacks anymore. They're not cool. I didn't know, so I got made fun of. The picture, of course, gets posted in the very first picture.
Yeah.
And it was funny story that I remember going up to Sumner for the National, and probably getting 96, 97, and it was Kathy Tuttle running up to me, Ray. And she rips open the magazine, and there's this, like, I think it's a 3/4 page picture of me doing this big old knack-knack, of course, Hotline jersey. And that's my very first picture, and man, I still have that framed and all that art. And it's actually the signature on my email from work. And
it is.
It is. My first picture, So so knack-knack. I did knack-knacks, and then years later, of course, still trying to jump and do tricks and those sort of things. I got to a point where I could do 360s and bar spins and no-footed cans and things. And of course, got to a point where then all of a sudden you have those few hard crashes and you start doing them a little bit less. And I know my knees to this day pop and crack and smack from all the years of falling out of them.
I know it. Burnside definitely woke me up. It was like, either you're going to go pro and race professionally and like take this seriously, or you're going to ride Burnside. You can't do both.
Yeah.
And Burnside being the skate park underneath the bridge in Portland, and it was it's not good. But it is a weird feeling though, like where you're like, okay, I guess I'm gonna focus on this racing thing.
And again, coming from, I don't think I ever aspired to be a AA pro. I was probably one of the few guys that got into the sport, and it would have been cool to go AA pro. But I still remember driving home from a national one time, and I told my mom, driving through the middle of the night trying to get home to back to work the next day and everything. I'm not gonna be Gary Ellis. I'm not gonna be a AA pro. It's not my thing. I was happy to be an A pro, and I was happy to make some podiums and do well. But I knew at one point I was never going to be a AA pro. It would have been cool to hold a AA pro card.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
But of course, now since 08 with the Olympics and all this, it's a legit. I mean, AA pro is, of course, all the foreigners coming over more so than they used to with Australians and New Zealand. And Netherlands guys, of course, just killing it. So AA pro or elite, has changed tremendously from the days I was racing pro, when it was every national had a double class. Maybe there'd be 4 guys, maybe there'd be 15.
15. I know. It was interesting. I don't know if you looked at the results. I was looking at the results for Nashville. And so Nashville was right before Worlds, and there were no foreign pros. They all left to go do their thing and whatnot. And there's this whole main event of Americans.
Well, except for the New Zealand guy that won.
Oh, that's right, because Trent Jones was still. That's right. Trent Jones won Sunday. But
by the way, congratulations, Trent.
Yeah.
Your first win.
Yeah. So besides Trent, everybody else was U.S., and it was really crazy to see all these U.S. riders and whatnot.
I felt so bad for Kenny G. I read the report. I read the report, and he's on a borrowed bike with this. I haven't seen the video either, but I read the report on ABA side. Kenny G going down, but
I know, but it's crazy to
BMX
think.
has changed a lot, and a lot of guys say that we need to make BMX great again. And I don't think that BMX isn't great. I think BMX is still a great sport. I just think if you've been in it for a long time, you remember maybe how it used to be. Maybe you liked it the old way, But like anything else, things change. And
like I've had these conversations with younger kids like Josh Banuelos and Tynan and stuff, and they're like, "No, I think it's amazing right now."
Yeah. And if you don't know,
awesome. then it's awesome.
Well, that's why the guys that are I don't want to say complaining, but the guys that make BMX great again, or they don't like maybe the direction that things are headed. They've been the guys that have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And so they liked it with the way it used to be before we clipped in, or before. Back when there were 2 sanctions, they enjoyed it a different way. But like everything else, things change, and not always for the better. But I think ABA does a fantastic job. Of course, without them, I don't have a job. Nope. So you'll never hear me badmouth ABA.
Nope.
But at the end of the day, BMX is a wonderful sport. I think it's a sport as anything. It's a sport where you can fall, you can get hurt, but what I like about BMX is it's an individual sport. You're out there. It's really just you.
Oh yeah.
And I played football and baseball for years, and everybody was on the you had your other guys that could back you up, or if you made a mistake, maybe somebody else picks up the slack. BMX, man, it's all you. You got anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds, and it's everything you've got to do it. And I was happy to be a guy that had some success in BMX. NAG plates, Gold Cup plates, state titles. Again, never was going to be the national number one. Never going to be the national number 1 amateur. Never going to be a AA pro. But I feel like I've done pretty well. Or better than average, maybe.
Better than aververage, definitely.
Not as good as you, but
I am. It's like you, and then like it's like little maybe.
Another guy I never beat. I know he chimed in as well. I never beat Todd Perry.
Oh really?
Todd Perry's another guy I never beat. So there's a few of them out there I was constantly chasing, and And but that's just it. I think one of the reasons I was always still hungry for BMX is it didn't come easy to me. I had to work for it.
I think it was the same thing for me too.
I had to work for it.
It still is to this day.
I think everybody over the years that I've seen is really good at BMX, and it comes easy to them. They move on. Yeah, it's just not a challenge to them, you know. Or it's not a challenge as an amateur. And of course, they turn pro. Yeah. And now all of a sudden,
it's too much of a challenge.
It's maybe a bit of a challenge. You know, it's interesting to see some of the guys that turn pro who are amazing amateurs that just didn't make it as a pro. For whatever reason, but a lot of it's because they constantly win as an amateur, and then of course they turn pro, and all of a sudden they're in the middle of the pack. They don't know what to do,
ride there,
or things, and then expectations, sponsorships and everything. I found it to be, I enjoy being a Hotline Northwest. It was the funnest team I've been on, but there was no limitations. You're there to have a good time. Yeah. And I think I've actually enjoyed it being more that way of not necessarily being on teams where I can ride what I want to ride what gear I want to ride. Certainly the fly in these things. And I'm involved with all these teams, so a lot of times I go to any race and kind of sit down with some teams and know everybody, but. That's maybe unique to my situation, but I just enjoy riding whatever gear I want to ride, whatever bike I want to ride. And I've been lucky to have some guys help me out over the years. I'll throw Bill Ryan from Supercross is amazing. Gus at Profile has been fantastic, and of course Rich and TJ Tangent have always been there through the years. Helping me out with things when they really don't have to or need to. Yeah. I'm going to sell their product regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
And prior to that, when I worked at the retail shop, I sold a ton of Schwinn, man. That was back when the Foster brothers were around. Schwinn was the hottest thing going.
I know.
And the geometry that I ride now is really similar to on the Supercross is very similar to what I rode then. So the bike ride's great, but the rep always give me a new frame every year and new parts that I needed them. So I've been very lucky. Keith Archibald was his name.
Keith
Archibald.
Oh, that's right. We had this conversation. There's a different Keith.
But I've been very lucky. Hashtag blessed over the years with the fact that I've been treated pretty well in the sport. So a lot of it's like you were talking about in your garage. You have all your helmets and a lot of your old stuff, and I really don't because I found myself always kind of paying it forward. I got stuff for free, whether it was Fly or whether it was from these guys, and I tend to just give it. You see a neat feeling. There's a kid over here with a bent fork, or a kid with
you're talking to
a guy wanted to ride cruiser. Oh, I have an old frame. Here you go. Take it. I think that's why I don't really have a collection of stuff. I have a few old jerseys. I had an Ian Stoffel jersey when he was on Kirby. I have one of Eric Group's jerseys when he was on GT, and I've got a little small collection. I've one of Brian Foster, who was arguably one of my favorite pros. To this day, I still enjoy watching the guy ride. I have one of his last jerseys when he was on Schwinn.
Nice.
I got a Chris Moeller jersey that we crashed together, and he ripped his jersey off because he tore it up. I said, "I'll take that." I'm racing the guy. I'll take that. So I have a tore up Chris Moeller jersey.
I was just listening.
There's blood on it. I could clone Chris Moeller.
Wow.
His blood on the jersey.
Wow, that'd actually be a pretty good clone. I was just listening to the Chris Moeller podcast on Dale Holmes' podcast show, High Low, and I've listened to one other thing that he did. I think, that's right, when USA BMX went down and interviewed him and took a tour.
It was very cool.
And that guy is got to be one of the most interesting people ever in our sport. I'm not even all the way done with the podcast, and I was just like, dude, this guy has some stories, some time, and it was just crazy. But no, what I was going to say too,
again, which makes it interesting why I'm on a show when I'm not nearly as interesting as those. There's far better people to interview, but thank you all for listening nonetheless.
Yeah. But no, I was going to say too though, we're kind of hitting back on the racers right now and the pros right now and stuff. But did you watch Worlds at all or watch main events for?
I watched the main events. Yeah, I saw the finals. I didn't. Get to watch the races, or like I said, but I usually, like everybody else, I get to work on Monday and who won, or a lot of times I'll get texts from Matt Baisley is way into it, follows it. He's wants to. So I got text from Matt saying, hey, here's a link to the final and different. He told me who won and different things. Mm-hmm. So, no, I gotta watch it. And of course, always a fan of BMX. The world got a lot smaller and. With the Olympics again in 08, because everybody's racing now. We're seeing what's going on at World Cup events. Social media really has just changed the way we view everything. Where we used to wait for the poll or the BMX magazine to show up to find out who won what national, or maybe you get a phone call if you knew the right guy. But nowadays you can watch the race live on ABA's site, or you can watch USA.
I'm curious to
find out
ABA
or USA BMX.
USA BMX. I'm curious to find out who won tonight for at Rockford.
So again, my brain's not even there. My brain's on vacation.
I bet.
So they're racing at Rockford this week.
Yeah, they're racing at Rockford this week.
That's right.
And it's 3-day nationals. So.
I knew that. Fritz called me today from Rockford. So, so did Kirk from JR. So,
While you're in the light tower.
It's okay. But yeah, no. Like I said, these are all again my job, and BMX is. I've been happy to make a lot of. Like I said, my job is really friends. I'm talking to my friends about BMX all day long and selling them some parts and those sort of things. But there is a side to it, you know. Obviously, I have people to answer to and those sort of things at a job, my job. But BMX has been awesome, man. And like I said, I'm still fortunate enough. Like I said, I'm gonna go ride your track tomorrow. Looking forward to racing locals when I get back, and I'll be in a couple more nationals this year. And still enjoy racing, and so I'm not as good as I used to be, but you know,
aren't we all? So was it any heartbreak for you when you watched Joris get past the line? Him being rough. A fly.
That absolutely was rough. No, I'm watching it, and of course I don't know who won. Matt just sends me the link. As I'm watching the link on my phone, you know, amazing technology nowadays. I'm watching it. I'm like, yeah, dude, Joris,
killing
two bike ladies got this.
Yeah.
And then man, Sylvain just.
Well, and Joris made mistakes all the way down the left straight.
I'm on my phone, but I was probably driving or something. Should have been doing, but no, I mean that's BMX, man. I mean it's amazing, you know, and I still go back to the year when I raced Randy Stumpfhauser. I raced him 70-20 cruiser back when he was on Powerlay. I was always a Stumpfhauser fan, and
me too.
The year he won the #1 title, an 11th month race season, and he beats Morris by 5 inches. I mean, an entire season down to 5 inches.
I know. That was such an amazing year.
BMX is just that way. That's what makes it exciting. You know what I mean, that's what really makes it. Yeah. And in BMX nowadays, especially nowadays, it's funny. Matt Britton, our track director at Eagle Park, we were laughing the other day because I was racing locally, and you know, a lot of times, unfortunately, nowadays, what's wrong with BMX in some ways is it's just a race to the first turn, and then the race is over. Okay, no passing, no nothing.
Well, and then you have 2 other turns that are huge 70-80 foot radiuses, and you can't really do much with them anyway.
But I passed a kid locally racing. I passed him, you know, and at the finish line, he's like, "Man, that was awesome!" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, the race isn't over after, you know, the race isn't over till the finish line, man. It's still, you know." And I think some of the kids nowadays, they just kind of race at the first turn, and then they just kind of line it up, you know. And that's why Brent Lee is so fun to watch racing. That's why there's certain guys out there. Robbie Patterson's another guy, and Brent, and because they still pass people. And they make exciting. Oh my God, look, you know, the race isn't over because they came out the first turn. Brent's gonna pass somebody, or probably throw a no-footer in your face. Or an exit or something.
And then snap that joke off with just the commandment and just authority of like, I passed all you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I love it too.
That's what's exciting about those two guys. Is that's why everybody gets hyped up when they're on the gate, because just because maybe they don't whole shot the race, it's not over with those guys. And there's probably a few other amateurs that I'm not thinking about that the same way. But unfortunately, a lot of times you watch a national, the race at the first turn, or elite, man, they race at the first turn, and it's just line it up, and that's how they go. So to see a race come down to, well, this year, Sylvain beat Joris by what looked like a tire. Last year, Elise beat Caroline by what was a knobby thread. You know, I mean, just. It's exciting, man. That's what makes BMX exciting. I mean, I was at the Worlds last year. It's hot. We've been burning up the whole week.
That was so miserable.
It was so electric in there. And of course, the other Worlds I've been to was in 2007. We went up to Vancouver for the National Worlds, and watching Kyle Bennett. Held off
Kaylin.
And then
that was an amazing.
I'm getting goosebumps.
That was.
I mean,
I wish I was there. Like high low in each other. Every corner, side by side, down every straight.
Yeah. So again, I'm still a fan. I enjoy it. Now I don't miss. You know, I'm not glued to my computer watching it. Maybe like Matt and some of the guys are, but I absolutely am not going to miss watching a replay. I'm interested to see who won in Rockford this weekend, those sort of things, and not just the pros, but even some of the amateur racing. I really enjoy, you know, a lot of the teams and stuff we sponsor. So I enjoy. I get to know some of the kids. I go to a lot of races, and I meet a lot of the teams and the kids. So there's a lot of kids out there that I enjoy to see how they do. You know, there's a bunch of them out there that I've kind of got either a personal attachment to because I like them, or they've gotten to know me a little bit better, or just the team in general. I mean, there's some really good kids out there that I've gotten to know that you're cheering for. And that's not to say if I don't work with a team or I don't work with a kid that I'm not a fan. Like Tyler Whitfield's probably the best example. He's never ridden for Fly. He's never been in Fly, but I've always been a fan of Tyler Whitfield. You know, it's funny, in Georgia this year was the first time we've actually kind of talked to each other a little bit. You know, so you know, I'm a fan of BMX. Doesn't matter what uniform you're wearing. You know what I mean? So
although the one year I wore O'Neill, it was There was.
Well, you're an exception. No, of course, there's guys that I want in fly. You'd love to have all the guys in fly, and it's just not really possible. We've, all these years, of course, Mark Post constantly reminds me about how Elise used to ride for fly, and at one point when she got a red line, it was just difficult because Western Power Sports is a distributor, Seattle Bike Supplies distributor. So Mark Post always says how he dropped Elise. Well, we didn't really drop Elise as much as Elise went to a place where we really couldn't go, and of course we separated. And of course, look at it now, you're like, why didn't you do everything you could to keep her? But at the time, it just didn't work out. But so there's a lot of people you'd love to have in fly. Of course, we talked to Sam Willoughby several times over the years, and those sort of things. But I really like the guys we've got. Connor and Joris are great. Obviously, a lot of the other guys we have, I won't start naming names because I'll forget somebody, and they'll be Billy Bone or something if they see this. But at the end of the day, it's just a deal where again I get to work with some really cool kids and people. Of course, I've watched. That's the other trip.
Yeah,
I've watched Connor Fields grow up. I've watched Joris come up. I've watched so many of these kids come up, and it's exciting to see where they've gone. I mean, the Patterson brothers, Danny and Rodney, I'll mention them again, coming out of Utah. They've raced for years. And it's fun to see the success they're having and see them do so well. And again, we're at my local track last week, and Matt Britton and Jesse Sexton are the two local guys that run the track. Yeah, they race each other, and I mean, they had 2 races where they came down to the wire at the state qualifier. They're literally maybe it was a race for life, actually. Yeah, I mean, we're talking races by like Sylvain and George, where it's down to the wire, but it's just 36 to 40 intermediate. Yeah. And we're holding the gate. We want to watch. We want to watch a race. I want to watch this one. It doesn't matter if it's elites, intermediates. I mean, you got there, sit on the sidelines watching a good race. A good race is a good race. You just enjoy watching it. So, I mean, it's been I still enjoy being still a fan. Still a fan. Absolutely.
That's good. So, kind of stepping around a little bit, but let's hit on your future at Fly. So, I mean, we kind of talked a little bit about Fly, but I'm just kind of curious of, are there any big plans? Anything changing, or just kind of keep going? I mean, you guys have had a great program.
Yeah,
sticking with that.
No major changes that I know of. Obviously, as things come and go and different things happen, I don't plan on going anywhere. Like I said, I like my job and be there as long as I can. It's a good company to work for. I enjoy Western Power Sports. I love my job. And I do okay. So it's again, a commission salesman. Some days are good, some days are bad. Some days you walk out there, your head's on the ground, your head's down. You say, man, I spent more day putting out fires and fixing problems than I did selling anything. Other days you sell a lot of stuff and you walk out of there and you're skipping out the door. But no, no plans on going anywhere. No big changes. Obviously, we have new gear coming out here. 2019 gear is gonna. We've seen it. We know what it looks like already. Of course, already in production will be here in the late summer. Nice. And some new stuff coming out, and just what can we do to stay fresh and new, and what people want. You know what I mean?
You probably can't tell me, but did you make jerseys that are 2 pieces of material? And
no interest in making no interest in making
tank tops
and tank top pajamas and those sort of things. No interest in that. Although again, you have to give credit to your competitors when they're trying something different. And
it's they're selling it. I mean, there are people running it.
At the end of the day, everybody's different. Not everybody's going to like fly racing product. I get that. There's some years we make stuff that I'm like, what are we doing here, guys? But again, I may not like it, but the kids, again, I'm not. You and I really are not the primary customer of Safe Fly Racing. But I see Nick Long in his stubbing gear, and while it's him and Walker Finch, and while it's purple and teal and 2-piece things, I mean, it's not necessarily what we're doing, but it's not necessarily that's wrong. It's something different, and no plans to head down that road, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, new gear, we're constantly making changes. We do work with the pros. We take a lot of input from the pros and the riders. Of course, we ride. So that's the cool thing about Western Power Sports. Everybody rides something, either a BMX bike, a mountain bike, ATVs, motorcycles. I mean, a lot of people in that company do ride. Now, there are a lot of people who just work there. This is what they do, They just have a job there, whether it be answering phones or taking orders. I mean, but most people that are in charge of us of designing gear or different things, Right. So, again, Matt and I, Baisley and I, for years, when we were selling motorcycle pants, in BMX, it was fine. Well, then this change came where everybody wanted a BMX specific pant,
and then everybody started wearing shorts. That was
the short thing. Thank goodness that came in the wind.
Yeah.
Although we still I still get asked all the time if we still make shorts. I do get asked, but no. So maybe BMX specific pants. We got shoes and different things that we're constantly trying to improve on. But you also have to kind of know your spot. We're not going to go after the high end shoe market anytime soon because you're up against CD, Shimano, and all these brands that have been doing it for years, And so we're happy being the mid level shoe that we have that works just fine for most everybody. But yeah, so no major plans of any changes coming up that I'm aware of. Anyway.
Good. Well, I wanted to hit on a few of the, the little questions and whatnot that people gave.
Well, one question, yes, Todd Perry, I am jealous that you got a spoon with Adam back in Florida. What you didn't know. What you didn't know is that I jumped in bed in the middle of the night, spooned both of you guys for a little while.
Man. No, that was such a crazy trip.
That was a fun trip.
Going to Florida.
You remember, I was in the bed with Ariel Martin. And apparently she was afraid of sleeping with a random guy, although we weren't sleeping.
No, sleeping.
I was on one side.
BMX.
She put on a hoodie and pulled the hood over her head.
Yeah.
And we were sleeping in the same bed, and there was pillows between us.
Yeah.
Ariel's one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, but it was a
hoodie. Oh my god! I remember waking up
and
just seeing her with the hoodie and it's just like strapped down, like her face was literally only this big.
It was interesting.
And I was just like, oh wow.
But she used to be one of my favorite bands that trip. She introduced me to Rise Against that.
Oh really? That was
one of my favorite bands now. I heard Rise Against for the first time.
I wonder if she introduced me to them too at the same time.
Yeah,
I think she did. We were in the car going to the track and back and forth.
She threw in Rise Against.
Thanks, Ariel.
And Ariel introduced me to Rise Against. And to this day, one of my favorite bands. And they're coming to Boise this fall with AFI.
Nice.
And,
another one of your favorite bands.
AFI and Anti-Flag, man. So that's gonna be a hell of a show.
Oh my god, old man Ray Hudson's gonna be like, yeah.
Oh, I'll be out there at the mosh pit. I'll be out there in the mosh pit.
In the mosh pit. But no, it was such a fun weekend though. Like I just remember because
wait for it. It was epic.
It was epic.
Epic.
I'd never been to Florida, and here we are. And I've met Todd a handful of times. He was racing vet, and I was racing A Pro, so we knew each other, a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then here's this huge ass dude rolling around in the room with a freaking G-string on. And I'm like, what the hell's going on, dude? And Ariel's like just sitting in the corner, just like, God, please love me still. And I was just like, what is happening? And then sure enough, here we are in bed. I'm sleeping on top of the blankets because I'm like, I'm not getting on the blankets. And Todd has just got his big old self wrapped around me in a G-string. And I was like, I feel this much violated. This much.
Yeah.
It was fun,
it's
man.
one of the many fun trips that we've had over the years.
It was a good time.
There's no way we could ever go over them all now. That was one of the more memorable ones. Todd is as big of as amazing of a racer as he is still, even though he's retired. Although we got a new bike recently, so we'll see how retired he stays. But
I know,
right? But we've seen all that.
He's getting ready for Worlds next year.
One of the biggest personalities in the world. And again, another guy who gave you the shirt off his back.
I got a good Todd story for you too. So here we are at Worlds, and this last Worlds in Rock Hill, and we're in our quarter together. And it was like a U.S. quarter. It was ridiculous. There's one French dude. Everyone else was U.S.
USA.
And we're going to the first corner. Sean Dupree launches off. I was sitting in third-ish going into the first corner. Sean Dupree launches off, hits my back tire, shoots me all the way up to the very top of the corner.
I watched this race,
All right. So I come out. I'm like in sixth. Start passing Tim Dinger. I get ready down the third straight to pass Todd, and he just sees me coming on the outside. Boom! Just friggin' nails me. And the funny thing, and I was mad. Obviously, I was mad. It was Worlds. We're in the heat of the moment. And I still love Todd. I wasn't mad at him. I was mad about it. And it was so funny, though, because after the finish line, I was like, well, Todd, you really made it fucking good for me on that one. What the fuck, dude? Just like, you just had to shut me down, didn't you? You knew I was going to go right by it. And I got in his face. But I know Todd well enough. I know he's not going to do a damn thing about it. But we're sitting there in the staging. Well, he might not. He might put me in a headlock for a minute. But we're down in the staging area, and I'm yelling at him, and he starts yelling at me, and I'm like, no, seriously, great job, Todd. And he's like, are we gonna go at this? And I'm like, no, we're not gonna go at it. But I'm pissed, Todd. And the funniest thing was not only that reaction from Todd of this like, what the fuck do you expect me to do? I'm like, exactly what you did. Like I expected. I should have expected.
It didn't matter if it was you or anybody.
No, I'm gonna be mad about it. But the best was like Adam Scott, Justin White, like all these other dudes. They were like, you're insane, Adam. Like, why would you?
Not the guy that's trying to fight.
Why would you get in Todd's face?
Yeah, no.
I was like, I've never been afraid of Todd. I don't know why. Maybe because he cuddled me in a bed in Florida so many years ago. I've never been afraid.
He's a big teddy bear.
It was funny.
But when Todd came back, because he raced about the time that he quit racing is when I started. So when he came back, I mean, he went NAG 1. Yeah, his first year back, I think, and then went
with kind of ease.
With ease, and then he went vet pro.
Yeah, right after
not
that.
1, but he
twice, number 2, quite a few years.
Right. So he, but I remember racing him in Utah. I was in Utah. Of course, we're pro, so we have a pro class, and I just couldn't. Again, like friendly, I could never beat him. He's just so strong and so powerful, and just a big dude. But he's a competitor. I mean, obviously his battles with Carnes are legendary.
Legend. They're epic.
And Todd was always Todd and Jason were another fun one to always watch.
They were. And again, one of the 2 greatest guys.
2 of the nicest guys you'll ever meet battling. And of course, they had their moments as well.
Oh,
of course, the Grands.
Yeah.
the
infamous
Grands moment. Yep.
Yeah, but no, it was fun to see Todd too at Worlds and have him there, and because he hadn't been around much.
Who can come out of retirement and not really race that much and go win a UCI Worlds when it was arguably probably one of the hardest Worlds in some time with so many Americans and of course so many of the foreigners coming in and different things. But again, Todd's one of those guys that just it in some ways it almost comes easy to him, and they just. And
that's why I think he does like leave and come back.
In some ways, I think it's almost he shows up, he wins, he goes home, and it's not necessarily all that exciting to Todd, perhaps, and that it's but he's also got
family.
He's got family and things, and his little girls are growing up fast. So just like me, you got to stop and take time to spend time with the family and those sort of things. But Todd's one of those guys. I mean, again, we could go all day on the different people I've met over the years that are just people you'd like to have a drink with, and hang out, and go to races with, and potentially spoon with if you get the opportunity. Spoon
while in a G-string. Yeah.
I don't remember the G-string thing. Maybe I.
Well, it wasn't a G-string. It's his underwear. It's his underwear. I unfortunately
just a little extra tight, maybe.
Well, it's like what old men swim in, right? Speedo. Right. Yeah, there you go. Speedo, not a G-string. Okay. Sorry, Todd. You weren't wearing a G-string. I must have blocked that out because I definitely don't remember a G-string. but no, it was funny. So that was one of the questions, and one of the other ones, a couple shout outs was Carson Johnson saying what up, Jack Ferris saying hello, Jumpin' Jack Flash, another Oregon Hotline dude.
Last time I raced Jack, he beat me. We raced in Bend, Oregon on the old downhill track. It was me, him, and Norton, JJ Norton, and the 3 of us were battling, and it was kind of a battle between me and JJ, and Jack Ferris ended up beating us, and that was a super fun downhill track. I met Daryl Young at that track.
Yep, that was
the old Bend track with the downhill.
Yeah, and that was the same weekend I talked about it with Daryl. That was the very first time I had a clinic with Daryl, and you were in that clinic. And I didn't, or no, you were there. That's right, you were there that week.
But it was funny. I remember walking up to the track, and I watched. We pulled up to the track, my mom and I, and of course we've driven from Idaho Falls, so this is like an 8-hour drive.
Oh my God!
Bend, and the first thing I see is this guy jump the step up, pedal in the air, and just ride a wheelie all the way to step up. And you jump the step up, and you literally land and drop down this hill. This gigantic table, 30-foot table. You just floated. There was no landing. You just kind of landed down this. So much fun, and but I see him, and I'm like, he's got to be number 1 on this plate, but
I think he'd won the cruiser title.
It might have been his cruiser, So I see, so I walk up, and of course I'm walking up the hill with him. And I hear the kids, what class you racing? not knowing at this point who I'm talking to. No. And he's like, kind of looks at me, and he's got his beanie shades. He's like, AA pro. I'm like, okay, good. Good. I don't know if I can leave. But again, it's the most epic battles in Central Oregon with JJ and Jack.
Yeah, well, and how cool is it too that you got to race with those guys and then still keep going on? And I'll never forget the weekend we raced state finals down Grants Pass at River City. There was you, Daryl, myself, John Smart, all the kids that had grown up down from down south. And how crazy is it too that we got Oregon did a great job in the mid-2000s of having some amazing pro races.
So when I first moved over to Boise in the early 2000s, I was still pro.
Yeah.
So we didn't have much of a pro class. We had a small pro class in Boise. Pro class in Boise, but I really enjoyed driving over to Oregon at that point.
Yeah.
again, 8, 9. I remember one night driving through the night, driving 10 hours down to Grass Pass, or 8 hours down to Grass Pass.
You showed up sleeping.
Slowed up. I got there at 3 in the morning, slept in the car. You woke me up in time to go sign up. And yeah, we had some fun times on the race in pro, and you and I, of course, and of course some races out in Smith Rock and Bend. Yeah. Again with Jason Stevens and some Eric Miller and some different guys that were pro at the time, and we just again. Pro years were fun, and it was just fun to step up. But yeah, Central Oregon always had a fantastic scene. Utah's always had a fantastic scene. Idaho was, we get some riders come out of Idaho from time to time that are amazing.
I enjoyed seeing Boyle go down for the Tangent Pro-Am and make the main at Roosevelt. That was really rad.
Michael Boyle right now is probably the fastest kid coming out of amateur. Him and Tynan coming out of Idaho right now. Of course, back in the day, maybe myself and Matt Baisley. But you go back to the years when it was, Darwin Hanson, Shed Hedges, that's way back. But,
Andy Andre.
But Andy Andre, of course. Ashley Naliahe won many world titles for Hurtis Hot Shots at the time. Jason Michelson, of course, used to battle with Donnie Robinson. And of course, you look where Donnie went. And Jason actually came back and raced a couple times and still amazing. We got some guys in Idaho that have made their marks out there, certainly. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that Shannon Gillette at one point lived in Idaho. That's where Shannon and I knew each other long before I worked at Fly. So Idaho's put out some talent, but obviously maybe not the lineage or that Oregon and Washington and the other parts of the Northwest have. From the Brent Lees and yourselves to obviously your old friend of yours, Zach Seacrest, and on and on and on. I mean, I could go, but
it was funny.
You can't mention Northwest without mentioning Brent.
It was kind of cool. Raising my garage, looking at all my stuff hanging up, and he's like, "Whoa, an old EBS helmet." I'm like, "Yeah, actually, that's Zach Seacrest's helmet." And he's like, "What?" It was just a cool thing to see somebody like appreciate the fact that I have Zach Seacrest's EBS helmet.
I'm pretty sure I raced. I think I know I did. I raced Zach when he wore that helmet. Of course, Zach has passed. So those sort of things. Again, you get a little sentimental and nostalgic. And it's just fun seeing someone else or being around. If you've ever been around somebody else with common interests, it's exciting when you see somebody who's excited about something. I mean. A lot of times I tell people I race bikes, they go, "Is it you read a Honda or Kawasaki? What do you ride?" Right. No, I read a Schwinn.
Oh, you mountain bike?
Yeah. So you explaining that I'm a 40-some-year-old man riding a 20-inch kids bike. Yeah. Kind of falls on some deaf ears at times. You're like, what?
Very well, and like I teach these spin classes now at the gym, and I got a job there at the gym teaching spin classes, and every once in a while I'll bring up racing BMX and stuff, and they'll just tilt their heads and go, I got to tell one of my favorite stories. It goes back to one of your former guests on the show, Steve Clark. So again, I've met, when I first started racing, Steve, my very first time I got to see pros race was in Boise, and it was Jimmy Nelson, who's still racing, Steve Clark, who's still racing, Scott Matchell, who is still riding. Trail boss and a half at 50 years old.
And actually works for Fly as an outside sales rep.
Oh, is he now?
He does.
Oh, that's right.
So it was those three, and then, of course, the two local pros from Boise. And Mike Thomas was the other guy. Big Mike Thomas. And so these were the guys that I looked up to when I first started as a pro, because these were the pros. Of course, I read the magazines, and it wasn't a little bit later I saw Gary Ellis and those guys. But so those are the guys that I could almost relate to more. And but I remember the first time I ever met Steve Clark, he looks at me, and I think it was Mike Thomas introduced us, and he's like, "I don't need another asshole for a friend. I got too many already." Imagine Steve Clark saying that.
Oh, yeah, completely. 100%. Way to go, Steve.
Yeah, so that was Steve Clark's first word. I'm proud to call a guy, a friend of mine. And of course, all those guys, I mean, like I said, it was they were kind of maybe a little bit ahead of me, and then I was the next pro coming behind them and those sort of things. But I turned pro wanting to race them, of course, and those sort of things. But yeah, no, I mean, again, the Northwest has put out some really good races over the years, and I've enjoyed to be a part of, even though, we're way over here, and of course the Northwest, you think of Seattle, Oregon, Seattle. Of course, Idaho's the redheaded stepchild to the right there. But at the end of the day, I've met and got to race a lot of cool people. We can talk about a bunch of the different races I've been to over the years. And you seem to have a far better elephant-style memory than I do of races. Nobody can top Shannon Gillette. He remembers every race, everything. But so those are some of the guys that I raced, and of course Utah as well with Todd and Steve Spencer and Courtney Green and all these different guys over the years that I've had epic battles with, battles with over the years, and the guys that made us fast, again, I always had to work for it. In my situation, there's always somebody faster. I've never been that guy. Like right now in my class, Chad Street, he's that guy. He's be hard pressed to beat Chad right now. And I've never been that guy. I can just show up at any race and just win.
Anybody from like friggin' like 30 and up is hard pressed to beat Chad.
Well, again, at the end of the day, I've lost to Brentley probably more than anybody in my career, and then Chad would be a strong second.
Yeah, exactly. So a couple other real quick ones. There was one from Matt Lovegrove, and we kind of had a chuckle about it a minute ago, but he asked how did it feel to get passed by him down the rhythm section or something.
That was in Las Vegas at the Gold Cup Finals in like the mid '90s.
97.
So long ago.
97.
Yeah.
I remember that. Actually. Now that you actually mention it, I remember that race because I crossed the finish line, and then I think you would have been the class after me.
I think it was probably 95.
Okay, this was
because I won it in he won. I think he won it the year before. I won it the next year.
That's right.
And then Chris Luna beat me the next year for it. He reminds me of that all the time.
Yeah.
So I can remind Chris Luna to get on the gate and race with me again, but he's
yeah. Whatever happened to that like battle between him and TJ that they were gonna do? That would have been hilarious. That would have been awesome. But no,
Lovegrove's another guy I raced Northwest guy for years as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't get a whole lot of questions on there. I posted it like super. Justin Thomas says hello. That was a cat that I raced for a lot of years. Obviously I posted
I raced him a few times too.
Yeah. Posted it kind of last minute that we were doing it. I knew we were always planning on it, but I have a 1-month-old at home. Yeah. He's coming from Idaho to the coast, down to California, back up to me. So I knew that, timing and whatnot might might change. So I didn't want to like throw it out there until I was like absolutely certain that it was going to happen. So, but we didn't get a whole lot of foot traffic that way, but a lot of people are saying,
I'm not nearly as exciting as you think. So
you are too.
I think everybody who said nice things about me, I'm a nice guy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that said nice guy, and I don't know why my phone's not pulling them up now, but there were a lot of people that said nicest guys in the sport, and this hit on that again. I mean, I can't even imagine. It's weird because like I've gotten to get product through you for my teams and for myself for all these years. That it's so weird. I couldn't even imagine like having to go and like call Fox or call Troy Lee and be like, I got this team. We need some gear or
Well, yeah, I think I just consider myself lucky. You know what I mean? So I try to go work every day and work hard and realize that the other guys might be working harder. So I've been lucky. Hashtag blessed. To have a good job that I enjoy and get to talk to you next all day. I mean, and every time I think I'm going to step away from the sport due to an injury, and of course I've had my fair share. We all have. Every time I think I'm going to step away from the sport, I'll get a little bit, feeling good and go out to the track just to ride, and you're instantly hooked again. You know what I mean? And
no, I know.
I get no plans to go anywhere as long as I can keep doing this. But I think everybody's, maybe a little bit numbered. You know what I mean, as far as how long you can do this. And, whether you get burned out or whether you just the injuries, So I've got metal in both elbows. I got a shoulder that doesn't work quite right. Both my knees pop and snap. So it's
Yeah, you had a pretty bad couple crashes right at the end there. Right, or I should say like
it seems like the last few years I'm every year is a comeback.
Yeah, right.
coming back this year.
Any shout outs, any people you want to thank?
Thank you for having me and let me crash on your couch tonight. And
my pleasure.
He's got a beautiful daughter.
Yeah,
I got to hold her tonight. So other than that, I mean,
she didn't cry. She was like,
no, babies always cry. But no, again, thanks to everybody over the years for racing and racing with me, and we've always had a good time. Maybe not got along with everybody so well. Brent and I always didn't see eye to eye, but it's fun now to race Brentley and cross the finish line and
as a competitor,
smile and shake his hand. We all grown up a little bit, and just we appreciate the fact that we're still able to race our bikes at 40-something years old.
And I think people need to understand too is like, and I started thinking about it too after I did the podcast with Eric Philly. Is because so many people in Oregon especially love Eric and whatnot, and he and I did not see eye to eye for a very long time.
Sure.
I mean, we were, he's another huge dude that I'd yell at and scream at.
Sure.
I don't know what. Maybe I'm just asking
he'd
for
yell
it.
and scream right back.
Yeah, but I think people don't understand that like you and Brent, and even me and Brent too, who I consider a good friend. But as far as when we race each other, I mean, it's like just butting heads. And I think people don't understand that you know, when you have that kind of competitor, especially for so long, you know, even though you try to leave everything on the track, after so many years, eventually, like, it's just like you don't.
It's fun when you can go race with somebody and you can be competitive with them, and then go have a beer with them after the races or something along those lines.
It is, but then there are people that you just.
But it's also nice to have that guy that you're not necessarily friends with, and you know, you battle, and you know, that's kind of Brent and I. I mean, I talk to him more than, you know, we're friendlier now, but it's you know. Again, you know, Brent Lee has made me faster. Even though I still never beat him, and I'm still losing to him now. Many of us are, but it's just fun. I think I can appreciate someone at our age who can ride as well as Brent can. I mean, you're envious of the way the guy can ride. Watching him jump through rhythm sections and jump the way and ride the way he does at our age is just, you know, you can. Again, it goes back to people who have common things. You can appreciate a competitor. You know, you don't have to like the guy, but you can certainly respect him. And I've always respected my competitors. Always respected the guys I've raced, whether I beat them or not. You know, whether it's the intermediate guy that gets stuck racing me at the local track, I appreciate the fact that he's come out and raced to the guy that, you know, I'm battling with. You know, and at the same time, shout outs again, Bill Ryan at Supercross. Always helped me out. Supercross, one of the best bikes out there. Gus at Profile, still making some of the best components out there. And of course, Rich and TJ at Tangent have always been there. You know, as far as just help at the races, to hanging out, to just obviously throw me a number plate and some parts when I need it. You know, of course, I'm on the back end selling part for these guys, but you know, they don't have to give me product. You know what I mean? So
because you got to sell it no matter what.
And of course, you know, this thing was not sponsored by Fly Racing.
This is not like. There is nothing on my wall tonight. This is not sponsored by Fly.
You know, Fly Racing.
No sponsor tonight. Just kind of swinging for this one tonight. Right there. I apparently Tangent and Scratch Labs did tonight, but
but again, I'm fortunate to be still doing what I love to do, and the fact that I get to have a career out of it as well. I mean, it wasn't the AA pro career that I wish I had. I mean,
but you're getting to do like such a huge part of the sport. You know,
no, I'm involved, and that's what I enjoy. You know, and you know, again, who wouldn't want to be a AA pro, or an elite pro, making a living racing their bike? You know, but again, that's short lived. You know, and the travel, and you see the work that goes in, like Connor Fields and Joris and Trent Jones, and even the next level guys like Kenny G and these other guys that are they're there, put into it. You know, and you look at the effort that, you know, say Jeter and Tom Brady that's putting. They're amazing football players, but they're making millions and millions and millions of dollars to hit a ball or throw a ball. These guys are putting the injuries, jumping gaps, and these supercross tracks they're racing on nowadays. We're probably training and working just as hard, and hoping to you know, make ends meet in some ways, you know. And obviously Connor is doing well. Some guys are doing well, but you got some other guys that just, you know, struggle, and yet you know how hard they work, you know. So
no, it is a bummer. It is definitely sad.
You see what a top motocross pro makes. It's a big paycheck compared to what we do in BMX. So you know, BMX unfortunately is a smaller sport. It's a kid's sport, you know, and those are things that obviously you love these guys making the figures that some of these other sports make, you know. But BMX is what the kids say nowadays. It is what it is.
It is what it is at this point. Yeah, I will say, hit on one. It made me start thinking about funny stories and whatnot. But we were talking about how I, you know, especially in my younger years, I had a bit of a mouth, and you know, you know,
not much has changed.
Oh yes, I'm much better.
Far more reserved. Okay.
Far more. But it made me think of another person who towered over me, and here I am on the infield, getting in his face, yelling and screaming at him, jumping over like. So this particular rider, I consider one of my. We don't talk a lot, but we still keep in touch, and I still consider him one of my best friends. I care really deeply about the guy, him and his mom, as Jason Mosley. And it's so funny because when we were young, I mean, we were just butting heads all the time.
Sure.
And
I'm not with him.
Yes. And so we're at Reno one year, and a good friend of mine, Barry Storr, puts me up the corner as I'm going up the corner. Buzzenberry pushes me up into Jason, and then Jason goes over the corner, flies in the stands.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Reno.
Yeah, Reno. And a funny story, too, is I was telling the story to Billy Allen once, and he's like, yeah, I was the corner official in corner 2 that you almost punched and started screaming and yelling at. Because I looked over the corner to check on Jason, and Jason was being I don't know a good word for it exactly, but
dramatic.
And I mean, he was probably, it was a difficult, painful fall, I'm sure, but he was being dramatic about it at the moment, and I mouthed off to him while he was down in the corner, and I told him, get the fuck up.
Salt in the wound.
Yeah, a little bit. And then Billy Allen, who is a good friend of mine, starts yelling at me, and I'm like, fuck off, you know, and whatever. And I'm just like, Dad, you know, I didn't even fucking want to take him over the corner.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. So anyways, Jason's pissed. So is Mike Redmond, because he was on the team.
He's on Redmond, yeah.
And so Redmond wants me disqualified. And I got up and got 7th. So, anyways, Redmond wants a big call.
Move me to 8th. Yeah.
Move me to 8th or whatever, you know. And
Jason still doesn't win.
And, you know, Jason still doesn't get to win. And, you know, I think, and the funny thing was that Soto was in front of all of us. And I think Soto still won. Buzz and Barry got 2nd. But anyway.
Buzz and Barry.
And so, of course, here's a scrawny little freaking 21-year-old me. Jason's down in the infield, mad as hell.
I remember.
And I jump over the fence, cross the track, and start yelling at him and getting in his face. And Jason's like, I'm going to hit you. God damn it, Adam, I'm going to hit you.
Yeah, I think I missed all this stuff, so I was probably in the shoots.
You were probably in the shoots. And I'm like, do it. And it was just so funny. And so it made me think about Todd's story there at Philly and stuff. And I was like, you know, I'm surprised I haven't been pummeled yet.
I've had some great rivalries over the year. I've had some great friendships over the year,
yeah.
and I value them all.
I know, and that's the thing. And like I said, I mean, and
we could go all night long on different stories about different races with different guys that we've all had them. And, but that's what makes BMX great.
I know.
I mean, that's where BMX great again. BMX is still great.
And but that was gonna say the great thing is like now. I mean, all these years later. I mean, I follow Jason on Facebook. I see his kids growing up. Yeah, I feel like, you know, him and his mom are part of my family.
Mom was a sweetheart.
I mean, just an amazing woman. And I'll still never forget all the times where she'd look at my mom and be like, why? Why can't he just not hit Jason? And I was like, because I'm smaller. I need to hit people to make them move. But, you know, it was so much fun to grow up through all that time and whatnot. And
well, that's fun. We're still creating those memories and still other racing and doing things and battling now with some different people and different classes. Like, guys, for the first time I looked at my moto sheet and it said 41-45 on it. I couldn't believe it. It seems like I was just in 17.
Don't even tell me.
I was in 17 over expert the other day.
My wife is making fun of me because I'm 38 and I'm almost 40, and I'm 40, like, oh my god.
41-45, just it felt odd, you know. And of course, the nice thing is though, when you go to the nationals, your moto's always at the end. You know, 4650 and then move, or 4051 over, then move over 2, and there's your moto. It's easy to find like a 20 inch class.
But looking at the sheets.
But no, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm happy to still be able to be riding and doing decently well at 43.
And you're that old.
I'm 43.
Damn, bro. yeah. I know. I'm coming right up there.
You'll be there soon enough.
I know. But you know, there's one other thing I wanted to hit on, but it's not coming to my mind. But no, it's just been a lot of fun going through the year, you know, telling all the stories and whatnot. And I don't think that's any different.
I value all the friendships, man. And some of them are better than others, like yours and mine, to the friendship that I had with St. Brentley and Todd Perry's and the Brent Bartons and the different guys over the years, all the way down to guys like I don't talk to much anymore. Matt Lovegrove and different guys, Jack Ferris. You don't see him anymore, but I saw Jack Ferris' name pop up on the thing, and I was like, Jack Ferris, that's awesome. Yeah. So I mean, it's hashtag blessed, I guess.
Yeah, gotta love it. I remember what I was gonna say. And it's funny too how Taylor Stevens, I raced a Pro-Am this last weekend, and Taylor Stevens was just thanking me up and down for racing, and and first I was just like, no problem. And I started thinking more and more about it. I was like, that's really cool because
it's flipped.
Mm-hmm. Like,
we were the guys wanting guys to jump into the Pro-Ams at one point, Now we're the old guys that the pros are asking us to jump. Yeah,
exactly. And it's cool too because
I
trained and coached, at Taylor when he was younger and whatnot before he went on Phoenix and stuff. And so it was just cool to be like, it's pretty rad to see everything kind of come full circle. And
it has, and then of course I'm a few years older than you, 5. So I saw a little while back. Again, that goes back to what I said. You get a little nostalgic and sentimental about things because I'm not going to be as fast as I was. It's funny when you watch yourself race a pro. Like I posted a video a while back of me racing with Zach Seacrest and Eric Dyer and some of these guys in a pro in Puyallup, and I win the moto. I do a big X up down the second straightaway. I mean, it's like I'm just out there And I watched that race. I'm like, damn, you know, look, that was A Pro going fast.
Yeah.
And you watch A Pros now, it's like,
oh,
holy cow.
yeah.
But I watch videos of like all the time. Hey, I filmed your race. You want me to watch your race? No. I pumping through sections. I barely got off the ground. All slow. And it's funny because you think you still feel like you're going 100 miles an hour, but you watch yourself and it's just like slow motion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not there now. So, I wish I was still doing all those things.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was throwing some X-ups in the local track the other day, and some of the kids were getting all stoked on it. And I haven't thrown a knack in a while.
I think you should put your platforms on. We got a good size double out at the track tomorrow.
I brought them. You never know.
Throw me a knack, and I will post that up.
Oh my god. So, we again, man, just still 43. I'm happy at 43 years old to still be racing my bike.
Yeah.
Enjoying BMX, meeting new people, still making friends, keeping in touch with old ones, and having a career that at this point is putting food on my table. That I get to talk to my friends and talk BMX all day, man.
I know.
It's not
I
bad.
love it. Well, thank you, Ray, for coming on. I appreciate
Thanks everybody for listening and watching, and thank you again to everybody for the positive comments. They do mean a lot. I do very much appreciate it, and again, value all the friendships I've made over the years, and again, value the rivalries as well. And life is good.
Good. All right. Peace. Oh yeah, I put my thing right here. Good night. Oh wait. Let's get together. Oh, hold on. Jack said something.
Let's get together and come up to the hotline and RNC throwback jersey. We already did that. You weren't in Oregon. You weren't there. You missed it, bro.
Come on, Jack.
Missed it.
All right.
We'll have to.
We'll have to.
Yep. A little reunion.
Yep. All right.
Northwest.
Good night, all. I really need glasses, man. I can't. You got glasses on, which is good, but I can't see any of that. And